when I was an amateur, 2004 in October, I believe Ronnie Coleman had just won the Olympia. He came to Denver, Colorado, and I waited over 4 hours between prejudging and night show to get an autograph. I bought 4 8x10s.
I remember being a kid and standing in line to meet Lee Haney, Gary Strider, Matt Mendenhall, and these guys.
Bodybuilder or influencer? Which one do you pick?
I got a question for you then, because you kind of led into it right there, and it's a good segue into this. The circle of friends, the people that you hang out with. Not everybody gets your time. Not everybody gets a piece of you. You're at such a level now that it's interesting. It's a tough give and take. You know, I want to be friends with everybody. I want to say hi to everybody, but I don't have that much energy. I don't have that much time, and I can't get back to everybody. So
right.
With that being said, how do you, so I can also do this for myself, how do you give your energy in the sense of, because you got so many fans that love you, that want to talk to you, that reach out to you, send DMs and emails, and there's so many ways to get a hold of somebody. How do you turn that off, and how do you go, okay, I talked to Mark Bell once, and he says sweat equity. If somebody's going to work with you or communicate with you, there's got to be some kind of sweat equity. It can't be just everybody. Is there something that you dissect and go, I'll give my attention to this place here, and then that's it, and then kind of shut myself down? Because I know it's a energy thing.
Yeah.
With everybody at an expo, I'll get to an expo fired up, but 3 hours later, I'm emotionally and physically drained by just meeting people, because you're giving out energy the whole time.
Yeah. It's I suffer from the same thing throughout majority of my career, and you know, I realized that I, like yourself, we're giving people, and you want to see their smile on their face, and you remember when, like, hey, I remember when I was an amateur, 2004 in October, I believe Ronnie Coleman had just won the Olympia. He came to Denver, Colorado, and I waited over 4 hours between prejudging and night show to get an autograph. I bought 4 8x10s. I still remember that. And I remember how I felt. I felt nervous. I felt like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? I wasn't pro yet. And, you know, I recall of times where, you know, I've seen athletes not be so kind, and what that's done to some of my friends and in other sports and stuff. So I understand that. And like a simple example, me going to the Olympia, when we'd have the expo, the Meet the Olympians, I can only be there for like 90 minutes. Now, granted, that's not enough time to see 500 to 1,000 people that have lined up. So I'm really only going to be able to see the people that bought the VIP package, right? Because they're there an hour before everybody else.
Because I don't think society understands. Not only are you taking time to go do this, you are dieted down. You just spent the last couple months. So it's not like you're Joe Blow watching this going, what do you mean you don't have more time? You don't have, no, I know what it's like.
Before the show.
Depleted. And then on top of it, you got the stress of, I want to compete tomorrow. I want to do some battle, and my mind's here. And so I can't have fathom that stress that you're trying to do, and then you're still trying to take and meet your fans. So I think that's awesome. But
you do have the pressure of social media, because you do realize that even though you're in a heavy depleted state, if you give someone the wrong look, they can run with that and create a narrative that honestly can impact your image and also the way people see you to want to do business with you. So you have to remind yourself, okay, I'm not going to be fake. So what can I do? I can be there on time, make sure that I not be super long-winded with each and every person that does want your time. But, you know, you find a balance. There are going to be people that want to just buy stuff and take a picture and leave. There are going to be people that want to tell you their whole life story. So you do have those people like in your group that kind of keep the flow going. But what I will say is that people who have gone to that Meet the Olympians, they will remember that I will at some point have someone count to like 100 people, and that person stays in that line whoever's in the back behind that person, it essentially, eventually everybody gets pushed up to the front. I stand on the chair. I actually have everybody come into like a tiered area, and I speak to all of them. And I basically tell them, look, appreciate it. I'm sorry that I couldn't shake each and every one of your hands, take pictures with each and every one of you. You can video this if you like. I do love each and every one of you for putting your time, effort, money, resources to even come, and just your patience to stand in line. But I can't shake all your hands because I got to go kick some ass tomorrow. I appreciate it. And then I go on my way. And every freaking time I've done that, people have clapped. They've walked away feeling like, okay, at least he saw me. And I think one thing that we both have to remember is that I can't speak for every fan, but I can say this. When they see you, sometimes that is enough. So like, think of it like, in basketball, when the NBA players, and I'm sad to say is my favorite sport, but when they walk through the locker room, they go like this and they keep their head down and they just let people touch them. Sometimes that's enough, but what would be nice is if they kind of just kept their chin up and just went like that and let people see their face, because that means something to people. So for me, it's just like, if I can allow people to just see me for a second, that is kind of enough to a lot of people, because they do recognize that you got stuff to do. You can't be there all day. So I think that's a way of also my keeping your energy high, is so that you don't run out. So maybe reducing and I know some fans may think different, but sometimes it's okay to only be at a booth for an hour, because then you allow people to see you for a certain segment. And then if you want to do seminar, then that's when everybody can come over and ask questions and tell you things that, you can have that more one-on-one. But when it's a meet and greet, it's a little different, because,
let me ask you this, because you said something earlier. You said that you remembered when you met somebody and you stayed there for the pictures and everything like that. And you're just like me in the sense, because I remember being a kid and standing in line to meet Lee Haney, Gary Strider, Matt Mendenhall, and these guys, or the first time Sergio Olivier, and I'm just sitting there looking at this guy and I'm like, oh. But I remember how I felt, and how that memory, which is just, with Lee Haney, I was such a kid, and I talked to him for a second, but it stayed with me forever, to the point of when I was talking to him at the last Arnold Olympia or something. I was just talking about, dude, when I met you, man, I was just like, you said, I still remember to this day just the energy.
Yes.
And so that triggers, and the reason I'm saying this is because it's a moment in time that I will forever remember. And when I go into the gym today and people go, well, you still train today? I don't get it. I was on stage in 1983 and I'm still guest posing now. What is it that keeps me going? And when I walk through the gym, it's the moment I first walked through the gym at 13 years old. I'm still that kid.
Yeah.
Now, the two things is, one, Lee Haney motivated me because he was doing something he loved and he was great at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was doing lifting, and that motivated me because something I loved. So how can, again, I'm going to put you on the spot. When people say, hey, I want to motivate the world. Well, I don't think it works that way. I don't think you wake up one day and go, hey, I'm going to motivate the world. I'm going to go speak and talk about this, and that's going to motivate everybody. I don't think it works that way. I think you have to do something like you did, that is in you, that you freaking loved. Mm-hmm. And then you experienced it on that battle of the road by yourself, in a sense. And then you accomplished it. And it's a path that you did, that you loved, that actually motivates people. It's not you just going, I'm going to motivate the world. That's what I'm doing. I got a social media page, and that's what, how can you talk to these kids and tell them you got to find something for yourself first?
Yeah, that's
how do you talk to these kids?
I think it's very difficult. But overall, you just have to figure out what your why in life is. Like, what is your why in everything you do? Why are you doing this? And if you say, well, I want to inspire everybody, well, do you realize that life is also about figuring out who the hell you are? Is like you have to figure yourself out, and you don't have it perfected. I can tell you from I am 41 years young and I don't have it mastered. And have I had a lot of success? Yeah, sure. To whose standard, you know? But to my own, I'm like, man, I've got a lot to learn. And by those lessons of experiencing success, overcoming adversity, the word triumph comes to mind. I do think that you have greater wisdom into helping people, but I don't think that your goal should be like, well, I'm just going to inspire the world. It's like you want to help the world. See, you can be inspiring people and not really helping. And what I mean by that is, are you really willing to give the time necessary to help everybody to really dive deep into things? Do you actually understand? And at 20 years old, you probably don't, the human psyche and what triggers them. You're not a psychologist. Like you haven't studied the brain enough. You haven't gone through life enough to understand how to help everybody. But what you can do is find out what you're, like figure out what you're good at, what you really like, and be freaking amazingly passionate about it. Be relentless about it. And then just bring people along with you. Just bring people along with you, because I don't have to say I'm an influencer or inspirational person by just bringing you in, letting you see. You'll figure it out for yourself, just like what we're sharing here. People will find value in it or not. But I think it's very difficult these days because of social media being like more important. Like I'm a YouTuber than, like I was having a conversation with Hani the other day, my trainer. I said, hey, Hani, bodybuilder or influencer, which one do you pick? And it's very difficult. So for those people, there is no wrong answer. There's no right one either. But my point is like, if you're leading with gratitude and wanting to help, other people, that is inspirational. People will find inspiration. Wow, that guy's really positive. Wow, that guy is willing to help people. Like Mike, like you help people in the gym. You watch their form and technique. We're all about technicians and tweaking just a little bit and then asking for feedback. And they say, wow, like I never felt that before. Okay, that's cool. That was your gift to that person. That's inspirational. So I think and how did that come about? It took you years of grinding and reading and trial and error to get to that point. So I think it's a long process, but I do think if you lead with gratitude and find out why you're doing this and really write it down, like, look, like I got, notebooks and all that stuff. I say, well, why do you compete? Why do you do things? There you go. Like why? And read it over. So, and if like it'll answer itself at some point.
For me, obviously, I would lift, and I would lift all the time, pay or no pay. I love it. I love the battle, and I love the battle against somebody else, but I love the mental battle with myself.
Right.
And I try to talk to people and kids today, and the first thing they say is, well, I want to get the pro card, or I want to influence people. I want to be an influencer and stuff like that. And I said, if you're looking for a payback, you're not going to stay with it.
Right.
Because it doesn't happen quick. And I remember the first day I went into my acting class, and he says, if you're here for money and fame, get out. And I think that's a brilliant statement, because I try to tell these kids that are going to compete, if you take first, you're going to be happy. If you take 15th, are you still going to be happy? Are you still going to be able to work towards your next goal? Is that the start? The show, when you win the show, that's the start. Everything else is just labor in front of that. You win the show. Now the PR comes. So if you truly love it and don't expect anything back, I guess that would be the gratitude, going, I'm just glad I get to get up and do this.
Absolutely.
And for me, people say, well, what keeps you motivated? I got 2 arms and 2 legs at work, and I can lift a shitload, and I love the battle. So it's why do you think I do it?